You've tuned in to chipsgrooveradio with your hosts, Mike and John.
Did you play many adventure games at all?
I played
as a kid.
A couple as a kid. So I think the ones I'm most familiar with are Space Quest. Because I think my brother played a bunch of those, and I tangentially played them either by watching or, playing them myself. But I don't really remember them all that much. I don't know how much I actually liked playing adventure games. And then my brother was like into Myst and stuff too.
Oh yeah, my sister loved Myst.
Mm-hmm.
That one was a very complex game for third grade Michael.
Yeah.
A lot of puzzles in that one. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But I never actually played any of the LucasArts adventure games until a few years ago when they released on Xbox. They're really cool, though. I can see the merit, and you definitely see the influence of Tim Schafer. He's huge in that. He's just a kooky guy, and he comes up with all these ridiculous ideas for games, and they all turn out really well.
Did he do the Space Quest ones as well?
That is a good question. I know he did.
Published by Sierra or developed by Sierra. That wasn't LucasArts.
He did Psychonauts. He did Brutal Legend. Space Quest.
I think that was like the big names in it were Sierra and LucasArts, and Space Quest was the Sierra one, and they had like a bunch of other ripoffs, and like there's a ton of them.
I think it says here Mark Crow and Scott Murphy with Sierra Entertainment.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I picked up Full Throttle a couple years ago, played through that. That's like a biker game. Adventure game. It's very, very strange combination, but very fun. And then, I picked up Grim Fandango, and I was like, this is very interesting.
I've heard really good things about it. It looks really cool. I love the art style in it. It's pretty unique, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they basically just took the Day of the Dead motif and ran with it as if it was some business organization in the afterlife. It was pretty cool though. So what'd you think of the soundtrack? How did this one hit you?
It was really neat. It sounded like a movie soundtrack. Like maybe not The Mask, but like a movie from the late 90s, like that is kind of emulating the 50s.
I would say something like Dick Tracy, kind of that kind of style.
Yeah, but there are definitely some bops in this track, and I the kind of suave lounge singer style music is some of those songs really stuck out. Some of them were obviously backing tracks, and they felt like backing tracks. They didn't really feel like standout songs, which it's a video game soundtrack. What do you expect? But but some of the songs, which I imagine probably featured in the actual game as like part of the scenery or whatever, those were really, really good.
Absolutely. There are a lot of tracks, like you said, that are backing tracks. But that being said, it almost feels like you could just throw this on while you're cleaning your house or something.
Yeah.
And just have something to relax to. Maybe not relax, but
chill vibes.
Chill. Yeah. And it comes across very unique, I would say, for the time, just because it's got such swank about it, and very, like, I don't know about you, but in the late 90s, I don't know that I had seen a game with a soundtrack quite like this. This definitely feels Hollywood, very big, very showy, and they capture that not only in the soundtrack, but the aesthetic of the game as well. And it's there's a lot of tropes going on in the game. A lot of this is what you would see in a crime documentary or a crime movie of the time, very over the top.
Yeah, it's a very pulp noir, detective or whatever.
Like I would almost expect it if I didn't know anything about the game. I'd be like, this would be a black and white,
Yep.
hard boiled cop game or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I wanted to say that the soundtrack is composed by Peter McConnell. This is probably his most well-known soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
The game itself, Grim Fandango, is set in the Land of the Dead. And it has that retro futuristic 50s style. The Land of the Dead is basically where departed souls travel through to reach their final destination. And depending on who they were in their lives, depends on how long their journey is.
Mm-hmm.
And we play Manuel Manny Calavera, who attempts to save a newly departed soul, Mercedes Mesh Colomar. And she is accompanying him on his trip. He basically steals her. He works for this underground travel agency, and there's corruption going on, and he's getting all these lousy clients that take the 4 years to reach their final destination. So he kind of steals Mercedes, thinking that she's been so good throughout her life that she's going to have this luxury ticket to the end of the line. But it turns out she gets the 4-year pass as well.
Yeah.
And it turns into this big whole thing. Someone's sabotaging the tickets. They're hoarding them. They're not giving them to the people who deserve them. And it's this kooky adventure. It's a point and click adventure. Got a very classy sheen to it to hide that criminal underbelly of the game. Schaefer uses his comedy and storytelling to deliver an incredibly unique and enjoyable experience. It takes place over 4 acts, which are basically 4 years in game time. And Manny, he just spends his time getting into trouble, helping Mercedes get to the other side and uncovering this crime syndicate, basically. But it's an extremely unique game.
Yeah, the description alone is like, it sounds like a game that is very advanced for the time in terms of storytelling or in terms of like themes. And very Tim Schafer, where it's all kind of wacky and silly, but also a bit serious. And it definitely a game that I probably should try out and see how I feel about point and click adventure games in my late 30s, going on 40s. And maybe I would enjoy it as more of a chill experience as opposed to games these days.
I think you would, if you go into it with the right mindset. It is definitely not my typical game.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into it with the eye of, let me see what this is all about and kind of appreciate where it came from, that it would help you enjoy the experience. Because, I mean, for what it's worth, it is a little clunky nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, we're talking 1998.
Yeah, and they remastered it, right? Like in the 2000s or whatever.
Right. So if you look at it with the right eye, I think you'll have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a dead genre, to be honest.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, just because I know there's a lot of possibilities, especially with the capabilities of systems today. I think, man, they could probably do quite a killer game if they try to come back to something like this.
I'd be really curious of what you could do to really revamp a point and click adventure game with modern like Unreal Engine, technology.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, stuff like I'm thinking of 2 games simultaneously, but the games that are like walk and click kind of games that are like the mystery adventure, like something home. I forget the name of it. There's Gone Home. Gone Home. Yeah, Gone Home. Jeez. Gone Home, and then so those types of games are kind of maybe spiritual successors of point and click adventure games. But yeah, it would be really curious. And I want to say there have been fairly modern Myst games that have come out, but I haven't really played any of them.
I haven't tried. I think I was turned off by them. Not that they're bad, and not that I wouldn't have fun, but I just don't know if I can wrap my head around another Myst game, even from 1994 when I'm.
They're a little. I was gonna say they're a little more abstract and less like Grim Fandango is probably more on the note, more forward more simple and not simple, but more straightforward.
Straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, and then Myst is very abstract, where you kind of have to think outside the box.
I think the only game I had real success with as a kid for puzzle solving was The Seventh Guest. I don't know if you've ever played that.
I've heard of it. I never played it, though.
It's extremely popular for the time, and it was this fucking weird game.
Yeah.
It's basically a point and click adventure, I guess, because you're first person. You're going through this haunted mansion of this killer, this weird guy who's set up all this mansion of riddles, and it's messed up. Yeah. I don't know, but it was a good game, and I made it through that well enough. So
yeah,
that was fun. But yeah, so Grim Fandango. Again, Peter McConnell. He's known for soundtracks like Monkey Island, Indiana Jones, Star Wars. He did a lot with LucasArts. And for this soundtrack specifically, he scored it with Mexican-influenced jazz, klezmer, swing. And for those who do not know, klezmer in America adopted more of a big band feel. One striking thing about this album, I'll say, is the really eclectic blending of these styles to produce the album. The game itself is clearly inspired by film noir stylings and those black and white pictures we were talking about, like Casablanca.
Yeah, for sure.
So, give me your first track. What did you?
The first one that stood out to me, and part of the reason was that I was playing it in the kitchen over the Alexa. And my daughter was still dancing along to it immediately.
Nice.
Was Compañeros. I am just a real sucker for Mexican style trumpet band, basically. It's just the sheer strength and clarity of the trumpet that climbs above the flourishing guitar. It just drives that it's a short track, but it just is driven throughout the entire thing. As the song gets going, the trumpet duels with the violin in this like beautiful back and forth. You can just kind of imagine like there's a dance off happening to this track. It's just a beautiful short track, and I just love that strong Mexican style trumpet playing.
Yeah, you definitely get like a dancing in the streets in Mexico feeling here.
Yeah,
and it starts powerful and just keeps going, and that violin really catches me.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I think with you with the horns, it's me with the violin. I really take to that instrument and the way it really dances. But yeah, this is a stellar track. It's a shame it's only a minute.
I know.
7 seconds.
It doesn't outstay its welcome, I guess. But I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Right? Yeah, and I can totally understand why your daughter chose to dance to that song.
Yeah, it's a very danceable song.
Absolutely. For me, I would say my first song I want to capture is Mr. Frustration Man. And the trumpet with its signature, or is it a trombone? I would say
it's a trumpet. I think it's a muted trumpet.
Yeah. It's got that signature wah-wah, leads this track full of intrigue and subtlety. It's a great song just for lounging around to. Halfway through the track, a clean electric guitar comes in and plucks out an inquisitive melody to give the song some real depth. And for a short interlude, the guitar and trumpet really match note for note, and the section really adds a style to the track that I really like. and it closes then with the trumpet again. But it's just a calm, sexy, sleek club life track, I would say. I could see the club, you know, the low drums and the deep cello stylings while the trumpet sings its melodic tune. You know, there's cigarettes flying and sparkling cocktail dresses as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
This track really, really evokes that image for me.
Yeah, I love that slow, really mindful tune, and the trumpet kind of pulls the track along with it, with that plunger mute, and when it kind of fades into just the guitar solo, it's just kind of the breath in the middle of the song, as the trumpet kind of comes in with it, now unmuted, playing along with electric guitar. It's really a beautiful, like you said, lounge track where you could just play this at a party where it's everyone's low murmur talking, clinking glasses.
Clinking glasses. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's great. Well, I mean, speaking of smoky lounge style songs, my next one is Casino Calavera.
Excellent track.
It's a classic big band jam.
Oh, yeah.
Just a lovely plucked stand-up bass and a subtle percussion. Let each of their instruments have their little solo performances interspersed with the phrases with the whole ensemble. You really get the sense that you're listening to the song, and like you said, like a smoky lounge. This is more of in the middle of the night when things are getting rowdy and people are dancing and having a good time. It's all, each of the solos is very unique and soulful. I love the trombone solo in this, and it's just a great, fun lounge track, big band track.
I will shock you, sir. This is on my list as well, so I'll just talk about it too. But for me, this is definitely one of the more entertaining tracks. It has so many sections to it. It's only 2 minutes long, but it is a listening experience.
It's chock full.
Yeah, full jazz and swing. It opens with that jaunty cello melody and that signature explosive percussion horn combo. We have solos aplenty with the trumpet, the clarinet, the piano. Everyone gets to play.
Yep.
The underlying cello melody plucks up and down the neck without losing any momentum throughout the song. And all the instruments really get their moment in the spotlight. Each have a tale to tell by the end of the track. And like you said, it is the perfect backdrop for a casino in this world. The humdrum daily life kind of falls away when you listen to this track, and we're teleported into an alternate reality back in time. So yeah, the buzzing activity of a casino with a live band on stage, the smell of smoke, sounds of slot machines, and again, glasses clinking, ever present when you listen here. So there's nothing boring about this track, and it is absolutely one of my favorite tracks on the album.
It makes me feel like, since it's only 2 minutes and it's like basically only solos, it's like a condensed version of a longer, like normal big band track where they would have a verse with the whole band. They'd have these interspersed bars with everybody, and then it would fade to a solo. And I feel like they got rid of all the chorus part, and it's all just solos. Maybe just to get that feeling of a big band performance, where without having to have the player have to focus on a full big band song.
Yeah, they kind of get right to it.
Yeah,
and that's really fun, and it really fills out that section of the game too. So excellent track.
Well, sorry I stole one of yours.
No, it's perfectly fine. That's bound to happen. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I don't recall it happening before. But the next track, and I suppose my last track that I want to talk about, is Mane and Meche, the love song.
Well, if you love violin, so That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, this is perhaps the closest to a love song on the album.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to draw attention to this because it brings a different, more elegant style to the forefront for the album. It's got a wailing violin and a somewhat playful backbone. This track captures the two titular characters and their journey together through the land of the dead. There's a will they, won't they vibe to the song. It isn't so much a cliche love song with sweeping orchestral strings and piano, but rather a strained but lovely violin. The melody it plays is very sad but hopeful. It's delicate, but has pangs of intensity to keep you on the edge. It's not really a simple story. It's a stressful and dangerous one. And I think this really captures the pulp love story that's kind of intertwined in this game.
Yeah, it's a very heightened, like, song. Very, not torturous, but tumultuous song.
Yeah, it's not all happy and butterflies. It's very tumultuous. That's a good word.
You get those highs and lows, the sudden burst of volume and speed as the story kind of ebbs and flows. You have that. I think it's another violin on the lower end playing kind of the harmonic part with the solo violin on top. I'm imagining those are the two lovers. One maybe a bit more subtle on the low end, and the other one a bit more flourishing on the high end. It's a really lovely track that really just epitomizes that kind of noir romance style, I think.
Absolutely. Definite forbidden love feel almost.
Yeah, 100%. Well, my last one I want to talk about is another kind of short one, Nouveau Marrow.
Oh, okay.
I just love the beat on this one. It's kind of a bossa nova, kind of South American style big band beat. Very heavy on the low drums and the horns themselves. You get some trombones and trumpets, kind of all over the place, but it has that wall of noise style that you get from some really bombastic big bands, and then it all kind of fades away for a really lovely, I think, baritone sax solo in the middle there. It's just a great, like, kind of a dancing song. It's not really loungy. It's more of like you're at a gig, you're at a performance watching this band play.
Yeah, something like you said, that wall of sound, it really is a backdrop for something happening. It's not super intense, but it's very active and very excitable, very in your face, but it's not. It doesn't steal the show. I don't want to say like it's definitely accompanying something that's hurried on screen,
like an action.
There's an action scene, but I would say there's dialogue here. There's frantic talking. There's frantic figuring things out. There's a problem that needs to be solved, and it really captures that feeling of needing to get the job done.
Yeah, and less than the Casino song. There are two solos in it. One with the trombone baritone sax, one with a trumpet, muted trumpet. So it has that element of big band jazz where you have those solos, but it's not as ensemble solos like the Calavera. So you kind of get the sense that these two solos are two people in a action scene having some sort of intense conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just a really fun track, fun beat, and a great like backing track to something really fun happening on the screen.
Absolutely. Well, give me some final thoughts. Anything that you wanted to add about this album that maybe we have not said?
I think what you said in the beginning of this being just a great album to play when you're doing something as like a really fun backing track, because you get those moments of, like I said, the kind of backing, like movie backing track that kind of fade into your mind and it kind of fade into the background. But every once in a while you get a dance tune and you get kind of perks you up and you pay attention to it. Like when the Campaneros came on, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, it's time. I guess it's time to dance now. So it has that great mix of lows and highs, of things that you can kind of let fade into the background and things that are really vying for your attention. So overall, just a great execution on theme, but it's not something like this can become very samey for every song. But I feel like there's such a variety between, like you said, big band, jazz, kind of the Mexican, is it ranchero or ranchera music? Or is it
I would say it could be flamenco.
Yeah, maybe.
The flamenco guitar kind of.
Yeah, the flourishing kind of Spanish guitar style. Yeah, just you have that mix, and then you have the kind of sultry lounge side. So you have all these components that are in the same kind of genre or in the same area, but they're not the same music type, and they really complement each other, and it makes it feel a very dynamic soundtrack.
Yeah, Peter McConnell really brought those influences together to create something truly unique. And one thing that stood out to me is that it just doesn't feel forced. I could see something like this being very cliche. And this does not come off that way. It comes off very expertly understood, I would say. I think McConnell demonstrates an ability to bring those together in such a creative way and a respectful way that it really creates this listening experience that is all over the place and very fun to listen to.
Yeah.
But I think that's what you get when you work with a man like Tim Schafer. He has such a creative mind, and his stories are so bizarre and engaging that you can't really help but be inspired to dare to do something or match that creativity. Yeah. So I think McConnell did his homework and utilized the styles of the music and their instruments to meld them together in a way that just really captured this fantastical world that we're playing. With the muted trombones and trumpets, we really get the danger of the world. With the light percussive beats, we get that smooth and seedy club vibe. Interesting characters all over the place. And then with the violins, there's that hint of theatrical score. With the clarinets, we get a playful attitude of the characters and their motivations. There's so much at play here that you really cannot get bored. Yeah. Nothing here is samey to me. Yeah. I think every track stands on its own, whether it's a backing track or a really lively in-your-face track, a bombastic track. And I think overall, it's just a grand blend of style and grace. So kudos, McConnell. Kudos. Sure. Oh, man. Now I kind of want to go play it again.
Yeah, this makes me want to try the game. I kind of want to play it now.
I would highly recommend you at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get your hand on an adventure game after all these years.
Right.
I definitely have a more respect for it, a bigger respect for it than I used to. I didn't have anything against it. It was never really on my radar. So.
Yeah, same.
For those of you who would like to purchase this album, it has recently been reissued on iam8bit.com.
Nice.
So you can buy the vinyl. I've got it myself. It comes with 2, I believe, LPs that each side of the LP covers has a different Manny face, and the front is cut out kind of like his clothing. So you can put whatever face you want in the front. It's kind of funny.
Awesome.
So it's a good deal and great soundtrack. So I highly recommend it. And yeah. John, if you would like to give this a score, what would you give it?
I mean, I think I'd have to give it a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 Flaming Bones.
Flaming Bones.
Yeah.
I will give it a 10 out of 10 double N luxury tickets to the Promised Land. So, yeah, that's the review. Everyone go check it out and show Peter McConnell some love.
Yeah, for sure.
If you would like to say goodbye, John.
Hey everyone. I'll see you in hell.
I'll see you. Nice.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and subscribe on your podcast app of choice. Also, check out Magus Media's other podcast, This Is Not Happening, another X-Files podcast for complete episode breakdowns, insightful banter, and inane babble. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Well, hello there, Internet people. My name is Josh, and I am one of the hosts of the Nastagram RPG podcast. We're an actual play podcast, and we're good. And why are we good? Well, let's let the other host tell you. Dan.
Hey, everyone. If you like authentic, real-world sound effects, our lasers go pew-pew.
I love it. Matt.
Skip me. Coming back to Matt.
Ryan.
Okay, so after 2 decades of trying, we finally mastered the 3.5 grapple.
We're not doing that.
We certainly didn't. Never mind.
Try
Scratch
again.
that. Scratch
Check
that.
it out.
Look it up. John.
If you're looking for a RPG podcast that plays a whole hell of a lot of games, we like to spice the life.
Spice it up.
Spice it up.
Matt, you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. If you enjoy bad accents and overacting, you'll enjoy our podcast.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
And Jake, bring us home.
I like to just say we didn't just throw a phone on the table and hit record. Like, Josh does a damn good job with the editing. And
Facts.
if you care about that, you will not be disappointed.
That's right. We spent a bunch of money that we don't make on the podcast.
100%.
So check us out, Nastagram RPG Podcast. You can find us on all the goddamn podcast apps, and we'll see you there.
That's nasty.